You've undoubtedly heard us talk about multimodal communication, and today we are investigating the tools that make up the variety of AAC methods that we use to supplement or replace speech. I'm Vicki Clark, and today we're talking about light tech, mid-tech, high-tech, and unaided AAC. Unaided communication refers to any communication mode that does not require an external tool to supplement speech or replace speech. We all use unaided AAC. It includes things like gestures, facial expression, body posture, proximity to each other, and sign language. Unaided communication through gestures, facial expression, body posture gives more depth and clarity to other modes of communication. Think of how easily one can misinterpret a text message or struggle when a person's facial expression doesn't match exactly what they're saying. Natural unaided communication adds an authenticity to our communication. At times, a gesture, facial expression, or body posture gives you a complete, understandable message. A crying friend doesn't need to tell you that they're sad. A hand held up in front of your face clearly lets you know it's time to back off. When a student gives you a clear, understandable message in these ways, it is not necessary or even advisable to insist that they use their high-tech AAC system. They have already effectively communicated with you through a gesture, sound, or behavior. These are, however, good opportunities for you to model another mode of communication which the student is learning. You can respect that they communicated by directly saying things like, "I understand that you are sad," or that you want something, or "I understand you're angry," and you can point to these symbols on the student's communication device. Then move on. Do not expect or insist that your student follow your model on their communication device. We call this technique respect and reflect, a partner strategy that we picked up from Drs. Sinner and Baud. Another method that you can use to introduce more specific forms of communication is to simply ask your student for clarification using their AAC system. You can say, "It looks like you're sad," or "Can you tell me more about that?" while presenting the system to them. Once again, it's important to respect the student's initial communication and to be aware if they are in a state of being able to tolerate requests for more information. Sometimes you just need to take care of the student and the situation and circle back around to the discussion later using the AAC system to model. "I remember this morning you were upset with Anthony. It looked like he took something from you. It seemed like you were mad." At that point, you'll indicate the device and give them a model for how they might communicate this more specific information to you. Aided communication methods introduce the use of some type of symbolic communication. Now we're using picture symbols, text, objects, and photos. Light text systems allow us to communicate more specific information than unaided systems. We can precisely say, "I want pepperoni pizza," or "I hung out with Sarah yesterday." These systems are considered light text simply because they aren't electronic. Some examples of low-tech or light-tech AAC options include things like big core word boards that you might hang in your classroom, a communication book or board, pod books, eye gaze frames, activity boards, object symbols. Pretty much anything that you use for communication involves some type of material, but it's not electronic. These are communication methods that are used for the student to communicate to us and to participate, and for us to communicate back to the student to increase their comprehension. There are times when light-tech AAC is the best choice, even when a student has a high-tech electronic system. Light-tech systems are sometimes called rapid access communication aids, which gives you a hint at one reason that we might use them. Basically, use of light tech might be recommended when the student finds these tools to be faster, easier, safer, more accessible, or less intrusive than the high-tech electronic solutions. Typically, this is true only to very specific environments, activities, or situations. Mid-tech devices are electronic but often have a static display, meaning that all the symbols are constantly displayed on the device. These are typically much less expensive than high-tech systems, and because of this, you may have seen these already in classrooms. You might even have a few of these in place in your own room. They typically allow only a few messages to be accessed at a time, and rarely is the student able to independently change the options on these systems. These are not all-encompassing robust communication systems, but mid-tech communication devices absolutely have a place in our classroom. Here are a few ideas of how you might use a mid-tech device. You might use it to engineer the classroom with a voice output message in key locations. This is an example of an Express One from Attainment Company that the student can come up to and touch that says, "I need to go to the bathroom." It's mounted right below the bathroom sign and beside the bathroom door. Providing the symbols and messages that a student needs to engage with in a particular lesson can also allow the student to participate better. We can use quick social messages in a group lesson, so a single message switch that says, "That's cool, I like that," or "Can you show me again?" or "I have an idea." We might add voice output to a classroom core word board, so we might have a 36 location Go Talk that has all 36 core vocabulary words we're targeting this year. You could also record a book page by page onto buttons of a Go Talk so that a student can read independently out loud. What are some other ideas that you can think of? High-tech aided communication systems refers to an electronic system that allows you to store and retrieve words and messages, and most often has a voice output. The majority of robust AAC systems are also high-tech. Not all, but most. These systems typically have dynamic display, meaning that the student can access many communication pages independently by touching or indicating an icon or symbol. These are examples of some of the companies that we have experience working with as we have been supporting our school-based teams. All of these companies have extensive websites with training information, implementation ideas, and other types of support. Do some investigation to expand on what we've talked about today. When choosing which AAC tool to use with your student, be careful in your selection to not limit their access to a robust AAC system. Our end goal is autonomous communication, meaning the student can say whatever they want to whomever they want, whenever they want to say it. If you don't allow them access to a robust AAC system, this simply isn't possible. Robust systems aren't usually just one AAC tool, but they're a combination of unaided communication, light tech, mid-tech, and high-tech solutions. Even when our students are first using AAC, they need consistent access to their robust communication systems, so keep them in sight, in reach, and ready to use.